Hey guys, so I'm filming my monthly makeup declutter for September, and I do have a decent amount of products that I'm going to be passing on, and a couple of things that I'm going to be testing over the next week or so to see what I want to do with them. So I'll just leave those for last, and we'll start with the things that I am in fact going to be decluttering. And I do have some products in here. I'll start with these two that I had mentioned previously decluttering or considering decluttering, then I ended up keeping them and I've decided to let them go. The first being the Ciate Dewy Skin Primer. This is a nice dewy and gripping primer, but it just makes me a little bit too oily, so I am gonna pass that on, but I think it would be a wonderful product for someone that has dry skin. Then this is so hard. I'm also going to be decluttering this Persona Cali Glow Highlight in Laguna. I think this shade is discontinued. I got it 2 years ago on clearance on their website, and it just feels like a bit more of like a super thin formula. I feel like it, I don't know if it's the color or the texture, but like it sits on my skin and makes it look a little piecey, a little dry. But like when you just look at me, you're like, oh, that's pretty. And the more I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. So that's gonna be tough, but I'm going to pass that on. Then this is something that I had been using a lot this month as my work highlighter, again, to get a feel for it. And I just don't need it. This is the Illamasqua Beyond Powder Highlight in OMG. This is another pretty thin formula, which I mean is fine. I don't want something super thick, but it just doesn't do a whole lot on my skin. Then this is very nice, but I have too many bronzers and I don't see myself reaching for this over some others, but it's a good formula. This is the Flower Beauty Heat Wave Luminous Bronzer in the lightest shade Sunrise L1. There are two colors, and if you can tell, this is a little bit more pink or red tone, which is really not my preference. But the formula is really nice, and it does give some good pigment. So I'm excited to pass this on because I do think it's a good product. Just, you know, wouldn't make it into like my top must-have bronzers for the color, really. So I recently filmed an updated what's in my backup drawer video, which I will link in the cards. And because I was getting ready for that video, I decided to declutter two things from my drawer. And then actually during the video, I decluttered this. So there are actually 3 Becca products, all products that I love, but have others of, and I don't need to keep these backups. First being the Backlight Priming Filter. It's a half fluid ounce size. I had 3 of this size in my collection, so I'm getting rid of one of them. Now I will just have 2. So I will literally have a full ounce of that primer. It's a gorgeous glowy primer that works well with my oily skin. Very pretty champagne shade, but I don't need a ounce and a half of it. You know, I don't need 3 of these. So I will be passing one on. I think I'm gonna give it to a coworker along with these. Next is this little Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Capri Coast. It is the second lightest shade. I have this in a full size. It's a great formula, but I have a lot of bronzers and I've gotten so many more this year that I'm not gonna use one up anytime soon and need this as a backup. And then this is something that I am unfortunately going to have to repress because it fell out of the pan, but it's not been used. So I'm a little bummed by that. I'll definitely make sure I warn the coworker I'm gonna give this to, and I'll probably just like send her a video on how to repress, because I feel like Becca stuff, you sometimes have to repress it over and over again, especially if you're putting this in a makeup bag. And it would be Shimmery Skin Perfector in Champagne Pop. I don't have a full size of it, but I have another mini this size, and that is plenty, especially because this is a color I can really only use in the summertime because it's usually a little bit dark for me. So I will be happy to pass those on. I have 2 more face products. This is something that is fine, but not amazing. Other people have been head over heels in love with it, not me. The Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I have the color Fair. My friend Jean gave this to me. It sits on the skin okay. It gives okay coverage, but if I'm going with a tint and moisturizer, I'm going to reach for Cali Ray Rare Beauty or the L'Oreal True Match Nude Serum. I think that's actually my favorite out of the three. And to me, this does not compare to the L'Oreal, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass it on. It's not a perfect shade match for me either, a little peachy, but it worked. And of course I did get oily with that. I'm an oily person. Skin tints in general are almost always hydrating and don't quite work for me, but gonna pass it on. Then I have these blush pans. I'm gonna keep this one for now. It's from Lorac and it is the shade Technicolor, but I just am not good at using random pans and palettes. I do fine with my MAC pan blushes, but not my others. This is Makeup Geek Heartthrob, a really pretty blush. My friend Amanda gave this to me a few years ago. Very pretty, and I do like it, but I never ever reach for it. So I'm going to declutter that one. And then the last face product here, this has been something that I have been holding on to in a chopping block capacity for years. The Juvia's Place Saharan Blush Palette Volume 2. And I actually used it this month. I used this as a blush. This is a highlight. It's really pretty. The colors in here are very pretty. It's a nice formula. But I've told you guys, for some reason, with Juvia's Place, I am just not head over heels for them. I think it's a wonderful brand. I'm so glad it works for other people. It's affordable, it's accessible, but just not for me. I forgot to show you guys that I decluttered these two things to my sister as well, and both of these are actually products I really enjoy. So she was running out of her concealer. She just uses concealer for blemishes, and my friend Amanda had decluttered to me the NYX Bear With Me, and I actually had this as a backup because I have one in the same shade as well. This is in the color Light, and my sister, you know, it's already a little bit messy. She's absolutely been loving this, so I'm super excited about that. This is such a phenomenal formula, so I'm happy that I could give her this. What she was using before was a Lancome concealer I had gotten for free, but obviously this is a much more affordable alternative. And then for powder, she has been using the ColourPop No Filter powder for a couple years now, because when they were getting rid of it, I believe it was on super sale and we got a bunch for her, but it's a terrible powder. It is so dry. It's really hard to get any product on your skin. So I had her try this because I had two of these, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. I had Fair 1 and Fair 4. I got this as a Ulta free gift as well. So I gave her the darker color to use, and she has been loving this powder as well. Just a really nice smooth formula, and gives a little bit of coverage but not too much, sets the makeup nicely. So really happy that I was able to give her these products, and I do recommend the both of them, and I have another of each of these in my collection. Then I have one eye product, and then everything else is lips. The eye product would be the Balm Batter Up Shadow Stick. This is in the color Shutout. And this is a color that is like a very dirty antique gold, but this has been the base that I have liked underneath of olive eyeshadows, and I've been wearing more olive eyeshadows this month, and this is too dull. It is not shimmery enough. It's not necessary. It's not dry, but it's not creamy enough. I just don't love this formula as much as I used to. Laura Mercier, please come out with an olive eyeshadow base. Then I have a couple of lip products. First being something that was in my year-long project pan, but I used it less than 5 times, my MAC Prep and Prime Lip Primer. It's not something that I need. I always put some sort of lip balm on at the beginning of my makeup application, so by the time I get to actual color lip product, my lips are hydrated. So this is just something I never use, and I want to pass it on before it goes bad. Then I have this Rare Beauty matte lip cream in the shade Brave. It's a really pretty orange color, and this is a really creamy moussey formula, but it is like a little silicone-y, which for some reason whenever I have a texture like that on my lips, I cannot leave my lips alone, and I'm always like rubbing them together, and it just like moves around a little too much for me. It's not drying or uncomfortable. Like I said, me and that silicone texture, I just cannot leave my lips alone. So I am gonna pass this on, give it to my friend Amanda. She is an orange gal for life. Then I'm gonna get rid of this liquid lipstick as well. This is from Dose of Colors, the Donald Duck collection. The shade is called Donald Duck. It is a velvet mousse formula. I actually just wore this the other day in a video, and I think it looked really pretty, but this formula just feels a little too thick for me. I like their regular liquid lipsticks. The Velvet Mousse is not my favorite. I did get a like thanks for the love set of Velvet Mousse liquid lips, and that formula is a little thinner and creamier than this particular one. So I will not be buying any more of the Velvet Mousse formula. I'm going to stick to just the original liquid lipsticks. With the Desi and Katie collection, they did come out with a velvet formula, and that is why I bought the thanks for the love set, thinking it would be that, but no, it was Velvet Mousse, which is totally different. So I don't fully love this color, but it's mostly the formula I don't love, and I have so many nude lip products that I'm gonna reach for one of those over this every time. Next I have the NARS Velvet Lip Glide in Swing, and this is a neutral that's like a little more cool tone, and it's just not my favorite color. I have other cool tone nudes that I like a little bit more, and again, I have a lot of other nudes in general that I would reach for over this one in fall. But also I'm gonna declutter this because of the formula. So it's actually super creamy and comfortable. I love the texture of this on my lips. I think these have been discontinued, but what's really odd is that something about this formula, I must be allergic to one of the ingredients, because as I talk and air is coming in and out of my mouth, this gloss, every time I wear it, my throat goes dry, and I'll be talking and then like have to like swallow to re-moisten my throat because this dries it out, which is so weird. I have two other colors that I will be keeping for now because I like them more, but I'm gonna pass this on. And it's literally only happens with this lip product. So something about that formula. And then this is something I thought about panning, but it has more product than you would think, and I just don't love the formula. It is the Beauty Counter Beyond Gloss in Ginger Shimmer. Such a gorgeous color, but mostly shimmer. It's a pretty sheer gloss. I prefer glosses that have a bit more coverage to them. I would prefer color over shimmer, and it's just sticky, unfortunately. So I am going to pass that on as well. Then I have 4 things that I am testing a little bit more. The first is the foundation I'm wearing today. Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue in 104 Fair. This is, I'm yellow, but this is actual yellow. Like it's a little much for me, and I've been wearing it on and off over the past probably 2 weeks, and sometimes I like the way it looks. Like right now I like the way it looks, but the other day I didn't. So I'm just gonna keep testing this more. I was thinking about panning it, so I don't know. We'll see, but it takes me so long to get through foundation, so I'm gonna test that a little bit more. Next, I think I can do it. I think I can declutter this. This is MAC Peaches blush. It is a sheer tone blush. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. I'm also wearing it as my crease shade, and I do think it's really cute, and when I put it on I was like, ooh, I like that. But I literally never reach for this, and I have other colors that are similar. I don't think there's gonna necessarily be a day where I do an eye look and I'm like, oh, I really need MAC Peaches to complement this eye look. So it's so hard for me to get rid of MAC stuff, but I think I will do that. Next is a highlight that I'm wearing today that I think looks pretty, but I'm not so sure about it. This is Becca's Vanilla Quartz, and something about the duochrome in this, again, I feel like makes it look like it sits funny on my cheeks or draws attention to the little bit of texture I have. So very pretty. So I'm not sure. Definitely looks not as dry on the skin as the Persona, so I'm gonna play around with it more. But I was kind of in the same boat last time with the Persona and the Vesca highlight, but I have been using this a little bit more, and I do like this one. So it is the Stargaze Luminous Glow in the color Moonlight, and this is a little bit of a thicker formula. It's really creamy and smooth, and this is a great natural highlight for me. This one and the Laura Mercier Matte Baked Radiance Powder I think is all I need because I prefer more of an intense glow. So comparing this to some of those other subtle highlights that I'm decluttering today, I like this one more, so I am going to be keeping that. So I am decluttering 17 products today, and then I have 2 that I am on the fence about and will be testing more. So I feel like that is pretty good. I would love to hear your thoughts on these products in the comments down below, and I would love to know what things you have decluttered recently and why. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.